I was absolutely baffled when I saw the leaked plan that Twitch is trying to implement. This is something that, while it does have one good thing pertaining to contract exclusivity, broadly speaking, looks really bad for streamers and also really quite bad for viewers. As a viewer, it's going to mean that your donations or whatever that support your favorite streamers are going to be less efficient. It's also going to mean you're going to be exposed to more ads. For creators, well, actually creators really don't like running ads. Seriously, having to do ad breaks is a real pain in the ass, to the point where me and Matt don't even bother doing it in the live stream that we run over on YouTube. It's just like that. We don't really like doing that to you. The exclusivity change is good, but broadly speaking, for everyone who uses Twitch, this is not really looking that good. So, this all comes from a report from the publication Bloomberg regarding how Twitch are going to be changing how they run some things. First is more financial incentive to run advertisements. Now, of course, ads are extremely disruptive to the user experience on Twitch. I basically can't stand them. I don't know what it is, but there's something about the way the Twitch ads work as compared to, say, the platform we're on right now that I really don't like. At least on YouTube, if an ad catches your attention, you can keep on watching it, but you'll get that little skip button in a few seconds. I think that's a pretty decent way of doing things. It means that if a viewer is genuinely interested in the ad, they keep on watching. The creator gets a payout. Fantastic. If a viewer actually clicks the skip button immediately, YouTube doesn't actually charge the advertiser. At the very least, not charge them fully. It seems like a pretty good compromise. Twitch ads, though, man, they suck. Also, their management of advertisement inventory sucks. I don't know about you, but whenever I go to Twitch, it's typically the same ad again and again and again and again, and it just makes you want to leave the damn website and go anywhere else. So, those pre-roll ads, they suck. Unskippable 30-second ads that you've got to pay $5 a month to that streamer to get rid of. That's also quite frustrating, especially if you are viewing multiple streamers. Also, ads are tracked per channel, unlike on, say, YouTube, where if you skip an ad, it gives you some breathing room to click around. That's the thing. YouTube's really good at ads. Google are incredibly good at ads. They generally know when to not be ridiculous. In fact, if a creator gets a video and spams it full of ads, YouTube won't even fully fill inventory in all of those because they know where that point of diminishing returns is. I get it, YouTube ads can be annoying, but I think they generally are less frustrating and disruptive than they are on Twitch. So that there are going to be further incentives to run more of them, that's not good for anyone. But it gets worse. So whenever you donate money to a streamer, you know part of that's going to be helping Twitch. But you would want most of that to go to the streamer. After all, they're the reason why you're even using Twitch in the first place. Well, what they're going to do is they're going to cut the revenue split from Tier 2 and Tier 3 subs, which had been 60-40 and 70-30, down to a flat 50-50, like Tier 1 subs, and this is something they've already been rolling out for a while. Do you know what it is in YouTube? It's 70-30. That's it. Now, YouTube definitely does take quite a lot on the ad revenue, but with things like this, it's 70-30. That is more competitive than Twitch. And when you look at some of the largest streamers out there, they make quite a lot of money through subs, donations, and things like that. Additionally, YouTube's membership feature, which is very much akin to subs on Twitch, while in some ways it's not as robust as the Twitch subs, it is more robust in other ways. You can basically roll your own Patreon competitor inside your YouTube channel. Things like member-exclusive videos, all of that with multiple pricing tiers. It's a pretty decent little system. No, there's not parity between the platforms. Yes, for especially live streaming, YouTube does have catch-up to do. But in this situation, this is bad for streamers. And they're running businesses, so what do you think they're going to do? It's also bad for you, because you'd rather your money goes to where you want it to go. There is one good thing. A concession to streamers. They may be trying to completely finger them and everything else here, but at least exclusivity from partner and affiliate contracts is going to be cut. That's good news for me because I completely inadvertently violated my partnership contract with Twitch. Funny thing, little side story, man, I was actually partnered with Twitch since the Warlords of Draenor beta. But then, from the very moment that we started doing our live show here on YouTube on our Warcraft channel, technically I did violate that contract. So if ever was going to go back to Twitch, I suppose this would be good for me. Ultimately, though, you got to think about the why here. And it is, of course, because Twitch wants to make more profit. They want a higher cut of all of this. And Twitch have been having issues. There's all the things, of course, that the community knows, right? Weird policy decisions, a funky situation where you go to Twitch and it looks like a cam site. It's ridiculous. You go to Twitch, nominally a place for gaming, and people are doing squats for money. Now, I'm not trying to be going around, policing people for what they do with their bodies. Absolutely do whatever the fuck you want. But Twitch, what are you? Are you a gaming platform? Because to me, it just kind of looks weird and cheap the way that you've ran some of your things. It's weird. Twitch is a strange platform. So, it's not looking that good, and money is also a bit of a problem for them. Now, this is following a 300-plus staff exodus in 2021, including the head of creator development, the COO, and the CCO. All pretty major C-suite positions. Not good, Matt.
No, not good at all. It is just like, I think it might just be Amazon trying to squeeze down and go on Twitch. You've been using so much of our money on Twitch Prime. You've had so much promise. We bought you for $1 billion. There's so much promise in you. Why are you not making any money? How can you have all of these viewers and not be making money? I think that's fundamentally what it is, but whatever's happened there is, because the head of creator development was DJ Wheat, and he has not been quiet. He left just like, that's a shithole. They're just trying to squeeze people for money. They have no idea what to do for creators. All of their policy decisions are kind of daft, a little bit off there. And that's fundamentally it. Is literally just, they think they're the top dog, and now they're trying to squeeze a little bit of profit out. And it seems like the kind of, we've maxed out user growth, we have to start squeezing. Oh, we're losing a bunch of users to YouTube. Oh well, we don't have the agility, the capacity to do that. There's even stuff that I couldn't really find like solid sources for, but the idea of like they have like so many engineers, but whatever's going wrong with their management, they can't actually get features shipped properly. So they have a load of they have a huge burn rate that's not getting them anything in return. And it's just this case of they will just slowly bleed out. And now they're trying to stop the bleeding financially, but it's just going to sink the ship a little bit faster.
Yeah, ultimately what you need to do is invest in product. And they're investing a lot. That's, as you said, they don't really seem to be getting a lot out of it.
Yeah, I mean, they could do stuff like that Twitch boost feature, which everyone's like, so you can pay to artificially boost your stream numbers, but you can pay it through Twitch? Oh, okay, no problem. And then one of the examples there was Ludwig was like, that just called it out really terribly for being an awful thing just before he moved over to YouTube, like mostly exclusively. Or like that's just everything they've done has just went a little bit wrong.
Yeah.
Basically.
It's a clown show.
Yep.
There is a reason why I would want to stream on Twitch, in that there are parts of Twitch that could work better for the streaming content that we would do versus how YouTube live streams are handled. But the thing is, YouTube are already looking into all of that.
Exactly.
And it's quite odd to think about, but YouTube seem to have better communication and stuff like that with their people than Twitch. Especially
recently. The past year, I'm sure everyone kind of remembers, like, at some points last year, around, like, the September time and stuff, that's when there were big names were leaving from Twitch to YouTube. And that seems to have been, I can't remember when, like, the leadership of YouTube Gaming changed, but I remember it changing a while ago. And it's literally just from then, they're like, okay, we're laser targeted. We're going to get the people from Twitch because we want the live stream. We're going to get people from Twitch. We're going to ask them, what do we do with our platform to make it better? We're going to make it better, and then we're going to take over Twitch. And that's like, the first steps of that process is already started with the big acquisitions of talent, but now it's going to happen with product development. Yeah. And that's where Twitch are like, instead of trying to fight back, Twitch are basically rolling over and ceding defeat, it seems. And the thing about YouTube is they invest in the basics of their platform. Now, I know for a lot of people there's been the adpocalypse and issues like that. Parts of that
have been YouTube trying to work out how the fuck they make this platform be safe and stable and viable in the long run. So while we did have those teething pains, and many of those sucked, and DMCA can be exploited, and all of that stuff does exist, there are aspects of what they gained there through the Content ID system that from a creator's perspective at least do give us some decent confidence in the platform, versus that whole, remember the copyrighted music thing that has been just an ongoing issue on Twitch?
Yeah.
People were getting blasted and stuff like that. Twitch did not have a appropriate policy and technical response to that problem. YouTube actually did and has for ages.
Yeah, and not even just that problem, because I think if anyone's watched streamers recently, you'll see, well, for a while ago, you'll see the whole thing where they were just watching TV. Like, that was just their content. They're like, oh yeah, let's just watch all these copyrighted shows with a little bit of commentary. You're like, okay, definitely trying to stretch the definition of fair use, but it wasn't like, okay, well, this is a problem. Twitch have now, taken steps to solve it. It's literally everyone, including Twitch, be like, you're going to get us all done. What are you doing? Like, we've been trying to kind of skirt around this problem for years. Now you're being egregious. It's almost the kind of thing of, you're breaking the law with Twitch, and they're all complicit in it. But they're like, just don't get us caught, bro. Don't get us caught.
Yeah, it's
and
like
they had no solution to that whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like, okay, right. So what, your website is devolved. Next thing, people will be just rubbing one out for subs.
Yeah,
really, at the rate that they were almost going.
Might as well be at this point, like.
Like the exact same mechanics that make campsites go is like, that's one thing. Yeah. So like, okay, yeah, sure, you made a hot tub section on your fucking gaming streaming platform. What on earth are you on about? That thing with the TV. Get real, deal with it quickly.
Yeah,
that's the thing. They don't have these adequate policy responses. It's like they are terrified of just making a damn decision and executing it well. It's the sort of thing I think if many of us were CEO for a day or whatever at Twitch, we would have seen things like that sort of degenerate, weird content that just does not fit a game streaming platform, and we would have said, that is not what our platform is here for. Goodbye. You don't get to do that.
And that's
sure, weather the storm of people on Twitter being like, oh my god, I can't believe you are discriminating against people doing squats on Twitch. And it's like, weather the storm. Don't be a fucking coward.
Yeah, but it's
integrity of your platform.
There's certainly parts of it are like cowardice and integrity, but I think it's like something almost a little bit more insidious, which is just money. Because if you're watching that and you're like, oh, that's getting a whole bunch of revenue in, and we're getting a cut of that revenue, then I can't imagine them going, well, we need more revenue, and this will destroy our revenue if we ban it. So shit, it's almost like they're stuck in short-term thinking as opposed to the long-term platform thinking, and that's what's ultimately kind of that's what's getting them like destroyed in PR multiple times a year, while YouTube are literally sitting back and laughing, going,
"That's it,
nice, just send more users to our platform. Thank you very much."
They are engaged in short-term thinking, and they are no longer a mission-driven company.
Yeah,
if you're a mission-driven company that knows what your fucking job is, you know why you have built this, why it exists. And that's not just a puff piece that you put up in your corporate website, then a lot of these decisions and things they've struggled with are easy. They are 5-minute decisions. Yeah. Sure, a bit longer in execution, but it's easy shit. Yeah. I think that's ultimately the listlessness that has resulted in people not having respect for Twitch's leadership or a lot of the integrity of Twitch as a platform. And that's the funny thing. They have got everything going for them. An incredible network effect. The integration of Twitch drops that means that it is just beautiful for video game marketers. Yeah. All of this stuff that is so successful, yet they cannot get some of these basics right. And that leads us to YouTube.
Yeah, Twitch are winning by default and then not putting any effort in. And now YouTube are putting the effort in. And that's what's going to be, like, that's what determines the winner in the end, is what kind of, what direction you're going, what movements you're making. Yeah. And Twitch aren't making any movements. And I mean, it's just great from Lester, the YouTube gaming global head of YouTube gaming creator. Can't remember the exact title, but it is the lead. Just going, oh yeah, there's lots coming for YouTube gaming in the next 2 weeks. Also, yeah, we're all 70-30 splits. Absolutely. And we've never had exclusivity. Or like, that is literally just, when the lead of the competition is flexing about a news story about you, and just kind of using that as an advertising platform, you've really shit the bed. Absolutely.
Yeah. And of course, YouTube has so many more ways to monetize in a longer term.
Yep.
A good example, the likes of, say, the revenue that Spiffing Brit has been able to get from some 6-hour live streams that are then quite well tailored and go through the YouTube algorithm, and as bits of content even do super well. There is so much more that you can do, and now that they are getting clipping and shorts, all of these other features in the platform, they just have way more of the fundamentals that Twitch does not have. Now, there are issues.
Yeah.
So where do you find a live stream? And that's the thing. There's a way where discoverability of live streams is significantly better on YouTube. So if YouTube, per the algorithm, thinks you would enjoy a live stream and you just go to the homepage, you'll get piped there. It will take you to that live stream. So for creators, for the likes of us, that is super strong. It is so good for our ability to pick people up during live streams. What it does mean is that for our already engaged audience, or maybe people who like several YouTubers who do live streams, it's just hard to find stuff. So basically, navigation is a lot worse than discoverability in a weird way that you only really kind of see if you're from our side of using it.
Well, yeah.
From a user side, I say this as a user, it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of the same for for some user stuff as well on Twitch, where if I want to go and find someone who's streaming a game, I will go to Twitch, because that's just where to go. You can just click the game and then you'll see a list of streams.
Yeah.
Whereas on YouTube, you're dealing with videos and content creators and stuff, and it's kind of, they don't have that level of, I want to watch a stream of a game, let's go do it. And that's why Twitch will still be the default until YouTube get that sorted. But for individual creator following and stuff, YouTube is definitely not just on the up and up, but also in a pretty decent spot at the minute. It's just they need to better separate videos and live streams and shorts, which according to Susan, the CEO, in her conversation with Ludwig, which I think is interesting, literally just sitting down with because I don't know the last time I've seen anyone from the leadership of Twitch talk to anyone publicly.
Yeah.
But then Susan sits down with Ludwig. Obviously, that was a very big name who moved specifically from Twitch to YouTube, has almost 3 million subs on YouTube. Is one of the biggest, was the most sub Twitch thing after the subathon in whatever year that was. I can't remember now. But sat down just for an hour and just talked. And you're like, okay, that's a lot of really cool info, really good stuff. But most of it was Ludwig being like, okay, here's issues I have as a creator on YouTube for streaming. And she's like, I'll send an email to the team. I'll send an email to the team. Actually, that one we're looking into. And you're like, oh, they actually are making steps forward, and we know that now.
Yeah, and they were talking in terms of day-to-day usability issues that we face as well. Yep. It wasn't one of those situations where it's like, oh, yeah, it's all the big successful people talking out of touch. No, it was way more, what would you say, bare metal?
Yeah.
Way more feet to the ground. It was an actual real conversation that seemed to have a bunch of really good outcomes.
Indeed.
So whenever they get this stuff, they're gonna be ahead of Twitch, or at least they'll have parity. But then the thing is that YouTube's algorithm is just so good at finding people. And if you're streaming in YouTube, you can grow your live stream through VOD content that has basically the best discoverability on earth. Maybe people would say that TikTok's algorithm is better, but I don't think that really applies for most of the people who are going to be, me and probably you. I don't know. I think, are we all too old for TikTok? Maybe. Who knows?
I think TikTok would say no one's too old for TikTok, and then show you a load of 60 and 70-year-olds having fun on TikTok.
Probably.
But I think culturally, yes. I can't imagine there's an awful hunger of TikTok from any of you watching, or from us, honestly, outside of, I guess, following it as a trend. Because I think if you're watching this, you're likely interested in cultural stuff among platforms of video. And that's why I think it's interesting that hopefully TikTok stays in its lane, I think. But
yeah, so it's with the exception of TikTok, YouTube's just here with the best content discovery algorithm that exists. And that is something, it's that thing, if you're a small streamer in Twitch, what does Twitch want to do? Twitch wants to sell you boosts. If you are a small content creator in YouTube and you are making excellent content, the chances of YouTube actually beginning to serve your content, if it truly is excellent, they're pretty damn high.
Yeah, that was a fun thing that I thought. I mean, obviously it's hard to tell if she was literally telling the complete truth, because who knows what goes on in big tech companies. But in the interview with Ludwig, Susan was always he was always making these little jokes, oh, your YouTube engineers watch this video, make my views go up. And every time she's like, that's not how it works. It's all about like it's just make content that's better than it was yesterday. And our systems are designed to make that. If people will watch it, we will show it to people who will watch it.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of the completely free. We've made an ecosystem that will run kind of like without us fiddling, without us having to do anything, as opposed to Twitch is very much, oh yeah, pay us money and we'll make you big views.
Yeah, I mean, like here's one of the most important tips for anyone doing YouTube. It's also a hard truth. Avoid those like small YouTuber discussion forums that are all blaming the algorithm. That's all bullshit. Your content's just not competing. Either it's not good enough, its marketing is putting people off, or it's just not a niche that many people are interested in. Typically speaking, there are definitely examples of not being perfect, but you got to think like, let's just say you're making a video on some, topic similar to Jake Tran. Is your video as good as Jake Tran's? Because that's kind of where it needs to be. And if you can get it there, YouTube's going to do a really good job of surfacing that to people. Indeed. And I think then it's a question of how can that power go to the streamers? If they solve that, then I think it's very fertile ground.
Absolutely.
So there you go. That's the situation. What the fuck are Twitch doing? Do they have a handle in their business?
No.
Are they a company with a mission that knows what it wants to achieve in the world? With a purpose? Doesn't really seem like that. And it seems that now that they are under ownership from Amazon, maybe all hope of them being a more mission-driven company who's going to focus on how to best serve core gaming creators just seems like that's kind of going out the window. We now have a situation where Google seem to be more user-friendly, more, I don't want to say generous in their business model, but more creator-friendly in their business model, and more agile, which is a funny thing to say when you think about how Twitch is kind of like a startup. I mean, now it's acquired, so maybe that DNA is dead. That's the situation. Twitch have got to get real. Tell us what you think. See you next time.